And I also learning myself all those great Power Apps features in Microsoft in one community called AI for non-technical backgrounds. So if anyone who is similar to me, who is not really technical but want to learn these apps, just try, because I found it's not that difficult and it's really fun. And I found out it really uh, extends your ability to the next level. So for today, I'd like to talk about why Microsoft invests in community leaders and how this community leadership can help your career. Yeah, this is my and you will learn how to grow yourself by embracing constant failures, and you will learn how Microsoft evaluates its employees. So during the presentation, welcome to leave your question, even though I cannot answer during this session, but I will try to answer after the session. Um, First of all, let me introduce my team. So here is all the team members in our global core headquarters, but those are all coming from all around the world, because we have these great members of employees who actually take care of community leaders worldwide. So yeah, I think you already found out me in here. So and then I'm actually managing the regional manager of all those Asian, including Australia. So I'm really glad that I can actually share some of my story for ASEAN women's. And oh yeah, here is some 3D factors that you can actually easily include this 3D factor, and you can find a lot of good objects in PowerPoint. So just to search through 3D, and it's actually every day by day, Microsoft is adding features of new updated AI features, and also these great features, especially when you are using Office 365, which is it's monthly about $70, which is really cheap, but you can try out the most recent technology of all AIs, which included in our Microsoft the services, not only for Power Apps, but also there are a lot of good features that you can try out to experience Microsoft AI features. And I'm actually coming from very rural area, so of my South Korea. So I'm not sure how many people are familiar with South Korea, but some of you have experienced to watch some of Korean drama. You probably know there are a lot of big cities, but also there is a smaller city. But this is almost 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So it's a lot changed. But by that time I grow up, it's very near to the ocean and it's very small village. And I can hardly see any foreigners. And you probably know Korea is very homogeneous. So almost 90% from like original Korean. So it was very difficult for me to actually become employee of this kind of multi-country, like multinational company. But yeah, let me tell you how I could go into this career. So my first career was not very successful, because even I graduated actually from English literature and English education, which I was supposed to become a teacher, English teacher, but by the time I graduated from university, there was a huge economic crisis in Korea called IMF, and it's a similar situation now, like coronavirus hits everywhere. So there was no companies hire a new employee. But by that time, I was introduced to join a very, very like university students organizing small startup. So there was only 4 students who actually run the company. I joined that company for as a like startup member. So there was no manager, no one to learn from, and no money. And actually, I even though I spent 3 years, but there was um, and ended up with bankruptcy. So very difficult early age of career. But I found out, it actually helped me to improve myself. And then the way that I built my ability to survive in the startup actually helped me to go through the next career. I dare to say that if I didn't have this kind of very difficult moments in the startup, I couldn't survive in Microsoft because uh, you know later you will learn how it's difficult to survive in Microsoft as well. Um, and actually, no manager, uh, you know, um, so actually lead me to learn how to become a leader and no one to learn from. Help me to looking around teachers everywhere. So that helped me to grow ability to go everywhere and to find out teachers everywhere. And no money means hard work. So it makes me too hard to put more work. And it kind of attitudes gives me a very very good the benefits afterwards when I pursue the career. And there was a bankruptcy, so there was actually the company just shut down. But I learned that it's okay to fail. Even though I put like 3 years, like I couldn't sleep until like midnight or even past midnight during that 3 year to make this company stronger. But finally failed. But I found that it's okay to fail, even though it was really bad. But it was okay because I found a next career based on my experience over there. And then there was like several opportunities to grow further. And then I became a Microsoft employee, but it didn't really give me like easy roads to to the next career because I was a product manager, but that's the product that I was managing was actually failing for 7 years, more than 7 years. So even though I put how much effort I put, the service was decreasing because by that time I was managing MSN Messenger. I'm not sure how many people actually remember it. And then there was other like competing services like we have like now it's with KakaoTalk or Line, you probably know. But by that time, we had another very good services. And then, there was only one person who taking care of this service in Korea, MSN Messenger, but there was no one. It was so strong competition among other competitors. But, you will find out that those kind of competition is everywhere. You cannot avoid. There is nowhere that's, no competition exists. So I could learn during this time that I do my best, but sometimes you have to admit that there is competition. So you have to really do the job in a very strategic way. Anyway, there was also a lot of operational issues, hackings, and malfunctions. So very, very difficult 7 years. And then finally, finalized with the division actually shut down. Actually, those kind of instances happened a lot during, my 16 years career in Microsoft. This is, starting, but there was another 4 times of, my division shut down because it happens all the time in those kind of IT company, not only Microsoft, but Google or other Amazon, because they really encourage everyone to try on the new services, new things. But when the services go well, there is a lot more investment in monies or resources. But the service doesn't go well, then they just shut down. Then the employees in that division should find out their way to go. So yeah, so during this all the time, I also decided to move on. And then I finally got a like six more interviews, and then I got a new job in Microsoft, which is managing global influencers in Microsoft, which is MVPs or RDs. And then I could expose to more of the global influencers, global tech leaders. I started starting from Korea. I went to Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia, and then now all APJGC region. Then I think roughly I met 2,000 people. So 1,000 is more like offline, but 1,000 from online. So those are all the tech influencers and tech leaders. But when you look at those tech leaders, you probably see only those kind of iceberg, like visible parts, which is success. But many people cannot see these hidden parts. The important area I focused and I noticed is how they actually those successful influencers face fails. I found out a lot of those successful tech influencers, they really fails a lot. And then they don't really receive this failure as the end. They just receive failure as a just meaning that they have to do again. So actually, they embrace these failures real a lot flexibility with a lot of flexibility. And then the more important thing is how they after they fail. Actually, after they fail, they do this persistence. So they persistently to do the next steps. So, I can say a lot of people they just fail, but they just don't do again. But the successful people they just persist to do. So, once you fail, it's not easy to overcome. So you have to build other parts of the work. So, like hard work and dedication and good habits. So that's something, naturally comes up after you fail. So, and then also for me, failure is not easy. So and then my first life, the career life, it's not easy, and there was constant failures. So I naturally developed a way to actually do my community. So like more like build my own tenacity and resilience. So how I actually build my tenacity and resilience is through the community, study through community. For example, for me, I didn't really study abroad during my early days, and also there was very small uh, chances to face foreigners. So I actually had a like community who practiced their English in theater form. So you have to actually memorize a lot of good sentences for theater work. So, and then you have to practice all the pronunciations and those kind of things. And then I just continued this community study. And also I love to study, like I love like anything around Chinese, Japanese, like movies, cultures, because those are nearby. And I was so interested to learn. And then I actually joined this community and really, enjoyed studying for like even though I was in a startup, which is really difficult, but I enjoyed those kind of moments that I study at the community. And then also, while I do a startup, I did like online marketing study community, and I really enjoyed working, and read the books and also studied together for online marketing. And now I'm doing like AI for non-technical persons. So these are very, very important for those people who who wants to continue their career in IT industry, because IT industry constantly requires you to improve yourself and learn yourself and teach yourself. So, but doing alone is very difficult. So I really encourage, and as you are doing now here, so BZEF's UZ, and these are great, great things that you should continue. And then those study through community, it's more doing, like by contributing the communities. Like examples, if you are more introvert characters, then you can just do yourself, but you can actually help the communities in online. So, like for example, translation of textbooks is one of good examples, and also blog articles. So what you learn, or like today you see like on today's conference, what you learned, you can just write blog what you learned, then you can actually build try to teach others, then helps you to learn thoroughly. So, and the other thing is writing a book. Tech forum answering is also very good example, and sharing technical knowledge through social media, it's also good. So, using social media is more for like sharing what you learned, and share, try to contribute to the community. I think that way it's a really good example of community contributions. And if you're extroverts, maybe you can lead or participate in user groups or meetups, or speaking at YouTube, speaking in conferences, study with community members. App development or making are those like more doing type of study, and by contributing to the community is a really good example. And how actually we Microsoft's value too. So in our team, actually, we take care of community leaders worldwide. And then you probably would like to know who is a community leader. It's share my knowledge and experience as much as possible, and then help to grow community. Then you can build ability to make people voluntarily to listen to your opinion and knowledge. And then we call it this as a community leadership. So if we as a in our team and Microsoft really cares of these people who have community leadership. So not only grow themselves, but also try to help grow community, and then who has the ability to make people the volunteer to listen. So which means impact. So impactful person, um, and as a community leader. So Microsoft has over 25 years of history of taking care of these community leaders, and we call those community leaders Microsoft's most valuable professional, and we have more than 3,000 people in the world, around 90 countries. So APJGC reason we have 800, and um, Southeast Asia, we have about 80 people, and I really, really encourage you to build yourself as a community leader, and by contributing communities, and then try MVPs, and so that you can actually build more ability and more impact. And then it will definitely help your career. And and this is how we actually engage those community leaders to our actual product development. We invite all those community leaders to the corp, and then we actually help them to engage with all the product groups in Microsoft, so that we provide opportunity for them to share the feedbacks, and then also help the product group get the really valuable feedbacks from the all over the um, uh, MVPs and RDs. And also this gentleman in here is Scott Guthrie, who is EVP of Azure and AI, which is the most important products in Microsoft. He is himself as a really impactful committee leader because he's leading, he has almost 200,000 Twitter followers. And then he wearing these red shirts, which he used to wear often, and then goes to the community worldwide. And then we call it as a community, red shirt tour. So during that red shirt tour, he tried to listen to the feedbacks from the community and then reflect those committed to the next the product improvement. And then these are not only like events, but ongoing perspective, like direct letters or email groups, or we have a product group interaction as well. So constantly the Microsoft is listen to those community leaders' voice. And then as an individual community leader, there are a lot more opportunity to be exposed to the Microsoft product groups and also employees, so that more chances to become an FTE. And not only for those becoming FT, but also a lot of business chances. And then also it gives them great chances to build their communities, and then build their impact stronger. So, and then also we provide a lot of opportunities for those worldwide committee leaders to present on a big conference like Ignite Tour or Build, so that provides them an opportunity to grow further. So this is Ignite Tour, but we couldn't do this year in offline, but we did a great successful online conferences. Here is the story behind why this community leadership became more important. So you probably know all, this gentleman and this gentleman. They are all graduated from Harvard University, and they were, the same classroom friends, and then made a company. But this gentleman here is Satya Nadella. It's he joined Microsoft as a regular employee, but once he became a Microsoft employee, I mean CEO, and he actually changed the whole Microsoft mission as empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. So he constantly asks us to build good impact. So I told you the community leadership is a really good way that you build good impacts. And this is how Microsoft actually try to tell every employees to build these good impact and empower every person. So, and then once he became an CEO, he really emphasized growth mindset. So this growth mindset theory is coming from a professor in early 1970, but he become a CEO, he really emphasized growth mindset. So as you can see here, like fixed mindset means has a lot like avoid challenges because they don't want to become a failure. So failure is living of my abilities, but um, you know the growth mindset, failures offer opportunity and growth. So the attitude to the failure is totally different, and the learn from feedback and also inspired by others people's success, and my mistakes helps me grow. So like growth mindset really, no matter no matter who you are and where you are located or what is your educational background, that doesn't matter. But once you declare yourself with a growth mindset, from there you declare yourself, you learn from and you grow constantly. And I will learn from feedback, I will keep trying and never give up. And then I will be inspired by others people's success. So
Hi, Soyoung. Soyoung, we can't see you. It's frozen. Yeah, okay, you're back. Uh, we can't hear you, Soyoung.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, now we are
Yeah.
able to hear you.
yeah. Okay. Right? Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely
Okay.
fine now.
Yeah, but I don't know. Can you give me a presenting mode so that I can share my PowerPoint again?
Yep, sure, Soyoung.
So
I
for
hope you're
now,
able to now.
yep. Um, so okay, so a few more slides. So I hope every committee leaders, to become a growth mindset person. And this is actually how we evaluate our employees. We actually evaluate our Microsoft employees all based on this impact and also growth mindset. So anyone in Microsoft, they have to build growth mindset, and then they have to show the impact. So before the individual, uh, employees, they should just focus on individual accomplishment. But then now they have to show their contribution to the success of others, and also they have to build results on the work, ideas, or efforts of others. So these two, so the attitude as a growth mindset and building the impact by helping others success is super important to become an MVP. And I mean MVP also like employees. So be a community leader to grow yourself, and community is super duper helpful, and also a lot of chances that you can join, and also you can lead. And then so yeah, this is my presentation for today, and I really encourage you to, to set your mind as a community leader. And then here is my email and also the LinkedIn. You are welcome to link me in the LinkedIn and then leave question. Okay,